Yes, so welcome everybody. My name is Rudy Corpus. I'm the executive director of a violence prevention organization called United Players. I'm born and raised in San Francisco, and as you see up here, we have pretty much everybody from every walk of life in every sector, from the SFPD to the private sector to community-based organizations, brothers and sisters who've been on the other side of the wall, mothers who have lost their kids to gun violence, the Brady campaign, Moms Demand Action. We got the SVIP, my two brothers right there, right? Guy and Gary, what's up, y'all? Frontline soldiers, for real. We got our Attorney General, who's in the house. We got the Chief of Police. We got everybody under one umbrella in solidarity. We got the mayor of San Francisco who's going to speak. We should have our senator here. We're all here together in solidarity to end senseless gun violence. There's so much going on right now in this city, in this region, with the gun violence going on. Somebody has to have enough courage to stand up, to take a stand, to let everybody know that we do not accept senseless gun violence. I am not against the Second Amendment. Trust me. Everybody has a right as a human being to protect their families, to protect their property, and to protect their community. But when you're running around with guns, especially ghost guns or guns in the people of the wrong hands, we must end that, because you got kids who are getting killed, 2 years old, sleeping in the back of a car, just trying to get home. You got reporters like you guys out here who are just trying to do your job to bring information to be promoted of gun violence like this, and people are getting shot and killed to protect even you guys and everybody in between. So we're here together in solidarity to stand against senseless gun violence. And so with that said, I want to bring on our Attorney General of California, my brother, Rob Bonta.
Well, good morning, everyone. Rob Bonta here, California Attorney General. I'm honored to be here with Rudy Corpus, with United Players, with so many great community leaders who are doing their part, working, rolling up their sleeves, working at the grassroots level, making our community safer. And I appreciate the partnership, the collaboration. That's how we're going to get things done. We're at our best when we work together. And, you know, in the United States of America, every day, on average, 316 people are shot. That's every day. Among those, 106 are killed. A 23-month-old child in the backseat of his mom's car, murdered by a stray bullet on Interstate 80. A 31-year-old immigrant father shot next to a playground in the Mission District. A retired police officer murdered while providing security in his retirement just across the bay. When is enough going to be enough? When is the violence going to end? We cannot accept this, and folks here are taking a stand. We are in a full-on crisis when it comes to gun violence in America. We have a serious problem in our nation that's unique in the whole world only to us. And it's going to take an all-of-the-above approach to cure this sick disease. So I want to thank you, Rudy. I want to thank you, United Players, for hosting this annual gun buyback event. And thank you to the many partners in this fight standing here today, including Mayor Breed and Senator Wiener. At the California Department of Justice, we are fighting to keep weapons of war off our streets, defending our gun laws in court, confiscating illegally held firearms, and cracking down on untraceable ghost guns. But we can't do it alone. We need to fight this gun violence epidemic at every level, and community-based efforts, including this one, are absolutely a part of the solution. This week marks the 10th year of this buyback. Congratulations on 10 successful years. And this year and every year, United Players has brought in approximately 350 guns, I'm told. That's roughly 3,500 guns over the course of the 10 years that the United Players have been doing this gun buyback. Some linked to very serious crime. They are now off our streets because of this one single effort. 3,500 guns. And thankfully, this is an effort that's not isolated to just here, just now. It's being replicated and duplicated across the state, across this nation. In aggregate, that's many guns off our streets where lives are being saved and safety is being promoted. So I support this work that United Players is leading, and I thank you for it. They have a close connection with the community, and they are on the ground, implementing strategies to keep our neighborhoods safe. This is good work. This is important work. If you have guns in your home and you want to get rid of them, come down here and make the difference this Saturday. It just takes one bullet from one gun to kill, to end a life, to leave an irreparable, immeasurable wound for a family and an entire community. So thank you, United Players, for your work to help prevent death and crime and to promote safety and opportunity. Let me now hand the microphone back to Rudy, but before I do, I want to acknowledge that I now need to depart this press conference to catch a flight to Southern California, where I'll be announcing the results of an operation in San Bernardino, where, among other things, we've taken multiple deadly firearms off our streets. So across the state, I and my team are committed to this important work, but I wanted to be here. I didn't want to miss this opportunity to say thank you, to be part of this effort, to thank Rudy, to thank United Players, to thank this incredible, powerful collaboration for your efforts to make our communities and our neighborhoods safer. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Rob Bonta, our Attorney General, California. Before I bring on our next speaker, I want to just say real quick, this collaboration would not happen with our frontline soldiers. And what I mean by that is we have teams that are here that put their life on the line every single day. I definitely got to acknowledge SVIP. Sometimes people don't see the work that they do when they're out there in the field, in the trenches, in the mud, where people wouldn't even go. And so I just wanted to say, you know, to you brothers and sisters that's doing this work out here, respect. My brother Damian Posey from Us Against Us right here. This brother right here is everywhere and anywhere. You thought Savoir Faire was everywhere. This brother be everywhere. So I want to thank you for him and the leadership of my team, 23 people, including the moms who've been doing our outreach prior to this gun buyback Saturday, led by a trailblazer, a brother who has been organizing other guys who had came home from doing a life sentence. My brother Everett Butler. Where's Everett at? That's Everett right there, who came home with a life sentence, who has organized 23 other guys and girls who have came home from behind them walls, that's out there leading the way to stop violence. And so I want to applaud you, man, for being a change maker, man, a change agent, brother. I want to bring on our senator, Scott Wiener. No introduction, but Scott, come on up.
Thank you, Rudy. First of all, I'm just continually in awe of United Players for the work that it does. The gun buyback every year to keep our community safe, the work that UP did during the pandemic to support so many families who are struggling. This is just an amazing organization that helps people turn their lives around, helps people get back on track, keeps our young people on track, and supports everyone. So thank you, United Players. It is a scary time in this country when it comes to guns. We know the data is really, really clear that the more guns you have, the more gun violence you're going to have. This fantasy that everyone can have a gun or 10 guns, and as long as they're responsible, it's all good. We know that there is a direct correlation. The more guns you have in a state, in a community, in a society, the more people are going to get shot and killed. And we saw it play out again a few weeks ago. More high school students getting murdered by another student who had access to a gun, and his parents gave him the gun. And this has to stop. And we know that our federal government Congress is paralyzed on this issue, can't even pass the most basic reforms that have 90% support in this country. We have members of Congress who've now taken the, posing for photos with their young children holding assault rifles. If you haven't seen that one, just sending exactly the wrong message. And I'm really worried about what this radical Supreme Court might do in terms of it's just distorting the Second Amendment. We can't control what the federal government is doing, at least right now. We need to take back our federal government over time and make change. But we can control what happens locally. In California, we passed some of the strongest gun safety laws in the country, and it does have an impact. It does have an impact, and we're going to continue to work in Sacramento, and you have my commitment to do that. But then locally, we can take action here. And what United Players is doing with this gun buyback, just taking large numbers of guns off the streets every year, is so impactful. You have my full support. I look forward to this Saturday, and let's just keep fighting. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. I cannot forget my brothers from CYC, led by Rico. Where you at, Rico? Thank you, man, for the work that you do, brother. And Henry. Henry, where's Henry? There go Henry right there. Well, we got stories, but I ain't gonna share them now. So next, we got a couple of more speakers, guys. And so I want to bring up the Chief of Police of San Francisco, my brother, Chief Bill Scott.
Thank you, Rudy. Good morning, everybody. I just want to, first of all, say thank you. I know many of you might not know how much work it takes to keep us all safe, but there's a community infrastructure that's absolutely necessary to get guns off the streets, to reduce gun violence, and to engage with people who are the most at risk. And what I'm here to tell you this morning is the people that you see surrounding me, people from the community, the mothers, the fathers, the people that have been through the criminal justice system and have come out to help their communities. That is what it takes. That is what it takes to lift a city up, to lift a community up. And I am so thankful to be in partnership with United Players, with Rudy Corpus, and all the men and women on the stage, our elected officials included, so we can make a difference. We have to make a difference. Far too many times we've knocked on doors to tell a mother or a father or an aunt or an uncle or a brother or a sister that their child is not coming home. We have to do everything that we can not to allow that to happen. And 10 years of gun buybacks with over 3,500 guns taken off the streets is a way to do that. So I am very thankful for the partnership. I'm very thankful for these people that are surrounding me, that do the work day in and day out. And as Rudy said, they're out there in some very treacherous situations. They don't have the equipment that I have. They don't have backup. They do have backup because they have us and they have each other. But they don't have body armor and guns and radios and things that we do, those of us in law enforcement, but they're out there day in and day out getting the job done. So I thank them. I hope you all thank them and appreciate the work that's being done. And also I want to say, give a shout out to one of our captains here, Tim Falvey from Southern District, who supports United Players and supports this effort, and he's a partner in this as well. He and our officers and our members of the San Francisco Police Department. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of this. Appreciate it.
We wouldn't have it no other way, though, Chief. Well, you got to be here, and I know when you hear it's serious. You know what I mean? The Chief is in the building, Chief Rocka. Thank you, brother. Hey, we got a couple of more speakers. I want to bring up now he ain't even good, he's my brother. He's our district supervisor of District 6. Give it up, y'all, for Matt Haney.
Well, thank you, Rudy. Thank you, United Players. Thank you, CYC, Moms Demand Action, SVIP. This is what it looks like when people who have seen firsthand the pain and devastation that is caused from gun violence come together for solutions. These folks are people who are in our community, including in the South of Market, every day working with our young people, working to prevent violence. Some of these folks who I've known who have been working in this community for a long time themselves have served time, have been incarcerated, and have come back to our community to prevent harm and violence happening to anyone else. I think that is such a powerful statement of what it looks like when we actually listen to and support the people who know firsthand what needs to be done. I want to thank SFPD and Chief Scott and Senator Wiener, our Attorney General, and everyone who has supported this effort over the last 10 years. For so many of us who are watching what is happening in our city, who are watching what is happening across the country, there can be a sense of powerlessness when it comes to gun violence. We see it on our TV. We don't know what to do. We don't know how to help. This is a way that you can help. This is a way that you can get guns off of the streets, out of places where they can hurt people, and get them destroyed so that they never hurt anyone ever again. This is a solution. This is a way that you can help. And a lot of people may think, well, I have a gun in the home, or I have a family member or a friend who has a gun in the home, and I know it's fine, I know it's safe. It's not safe. Too often we have seen, and all of the data bears this out, that if there's a gun in the home, there is an exponential increase in the likelihood that someone is hurt by that gun, either from violence or from an accident or from a suicide. And I want to say just one thing about suicides. You know, we have in this country about twice as many people who die of suicide than from homicide. And very often that is because there's a gun that is accessible to them. Often young people, often teenagers, often people who are for whatever reason are feeling depressed, are feeling anxious, are feeling afraid, have experienced violence or trauma. And because they have access to a gun, they make a decision that we can never bring back. I lost my best friend at 19 years old to a suicide. He shot and killed himself because he had access to a gun. If you have a gun in a home, please consider bringing it to the gun buyback this Saturday. Even if you think this will never be used in an act of violence, somebody could be hurt or die because they hurt themselves, either on purpose or accidentally. We can save lives with this gun buyback. United Players has been doing it for 10 years. And please, please, if you have or know someone who has a gun and they're willing to get rid of it, that can save someone's life. And we hope to see you this Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. As we anticipate and wait for our mayor to get here to speak, I got to make sure that we bring up people who have been survivors of gun violence. I want to bring up my brother, Damian Posey, for us, to come share, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Damian Posey, affectionately known in the community as Uncle Damien. I'm a San Francisco native. Like Rudy said, I am one of the individuals who have been on both sides, who are on both sides. I've been shot 5 times in the city. I've also served 10 years in prison for being in possession of a firearm. And I'm still standing here screaming loud and proud that I've been part of all of the gun buybacks. You know, I'm blessed to be in charge of the volunteers that come out, because I believe that it's very important that we get the guns out of the homes of the individuals who know they're not using them properly. A lot of times we see a lot of our senior community come out, their husband passed on and he had a lot of guns and they're just in the house. I want you to think about a father who's passed on, who collected guns properly, but now his wife and his grandchildren are in the home, or someone breaks into that house. Now someone who was not trained to use a weapon has 10 unregistered guns in his possession or in her possession, just out in the community. Those are the things we're fighting against. I'm with Rudy. I'm not against the Second Amendment. I believe that if you've been trained properly, gone through the proper channels, you know you have the right to bear arms to defend yourself. But we know a lot of times that's not the case. That was definitely the case in my situation. You know, if I didn't have a gun, I wouldn't have done that 10 years in prison and no telling what could have happened. So I'm just standing here screaming loud and proud in support of our partners. It's my honor to stand in allegiance with all of these amazing, amazing community activists that I have the honor of working with every single day out here on the front lines. I had a meeting yesterday at my youth lounge, the Us For Us Youth Lounge, with the district attorney's office. We had the family of 16-year-old Jada, who was just playing in front of her house, who had nothing to do with nothing, who caught a stray bullet, and I'm pretty sure those individuals didn't have a registered firearm, shouldn't have had a firearm, but now a family has to deal with the first holidays without their 16-year-old baby girl in my community, and I can't have it. I can't have it. I've been fighting for it since I've been home, and I'm going to continue to fight with it. So I'm honored to stand here with all of the partners, Rudy Corpus and United Players, and I'm going to keep on doing it. We've been doing it for 10 years. We're going to do it for 10, 20, 30 more, whatever it takes. Thank you, Rudy.
Thank you, Damian Posey, for all the work that you do, one of God's soldiers. I want to acknowledge, man, my brother Rob Newt out there, man. Thank you, brother, frontline soldier. I see you. Thank you for putting your life on the line every day. You know what I mean? That's probably one of the highest sacrifices that you can do on this planet, is to put your life in front of somebody else's life. To sacrifice your life so people would live. So with that said, we got brothers and sisters who've been on both sides of the guns here. I want to bring up somebody who has lost their kids to gun violence, a mother. You can never know the pain of a mom's pain. I never know when you lose one of your kids. So I want to bring up Mama Liz, y'all.
Thank you. Thank you, Rudy and United Players, for always being here for us. Mothers who lost our children to gun violence and other violence. Thank you, SFPD, San Francisco Police Department, for working with UP and all of us to get guns off our streets and out of the wrong hands. I stand today here as a mother representing Maddie Scott, Healing for Our Families and Our Nation, and representing every mother and father, brother and sister who lost a child to gun violence. My name is Elizabeth Torres, and I lost 2 sons to gun violence. And it's a pain no mother should have to endure, or father, or family members. I'm here for my sons, Francisco and Alvaro Garcia Peña. The weapons used to kill them had the numbers scratched off. I fought because I couldn't see in this city or any other cities someone coming in to rob my sons from me. They had a future. I sacrificed to bring them up the right way. And yet, the bullets found them and took them away from our families. The most important thing I want to say is to the mothers out there, to the fathers, the sisters, the brothers, the cousins who loved and lost their dear ones, take a breath, take a step. I know you want justice. Justice is going to come in its own time. It's not going to come in yours. What you could do in the meantime, take care of yourself. Your loved ones are looking at you. Yes, I do believe that if God could open up a window to our lives, what we're doing, wouldn't we want our loved ones to be proud of us and how we're taking care of ourselves? They would want us to keep going, because after all, we're the only ones that can help and bring justice by being an example, by going to the court, by cooperating with the police, by getting on the investigators to not let them forget our loved ones. That's what we could do. Yes, the holidays are rough. Every holiday, every anniversary, every birthday. It's very hard. Take that time for yourself. Go easy on yourself. But please stay away from the drugs, the alcohol, the anger. Get into peace. That is the most precious gift, is peace. Find your peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mama Liz. As we anticipate and wait for the mayor to get here, I do want to say, it is serious business, y'all. This is not no game. When one of those bullets leave that chamber about that gun, it's going to destroy and destruct everything in its path. And that bullet that has no name on it does not discriminate. It will kill and destroy anything that it destructs when it comes out. It doesn't matter if you black, you white, you peppermint stripe, you tall, you short, you gay, straight, it doesn't matter. And there's a lot of guns that are out here in the hands of the wrong people who are reckless, people who are mentally ill, people who have anger issues, people who are out here that should not have guns in their hands. And that's what we're about. We're about getting guns off the streets, destroying these guns so when they get in the wrong hands of the wrong people that will end somebody's life, that would affect the whole community. It's like throwing a rock in a pond. You'll see the ripple effect that it would do. If that 2-year-old kid would have not got shot and lived, or even the guy who was protecting y'all camera people was still alive, you don't know what kind of impact that person will make on this planet. But you will never find out when them bullets are flying and they're destroying and destructing everything in its path. And so you ask why we do this. I'm not against the Second Amendment, but I am against senseless gun violence. I'm a survivor. And that's why I'm very passionate about this. And so I want to bring somebody else up here who's very passionate, who's been on both sides of the gun, who's been affected, who's been to prison behind it. I want to bring up my brother, Everett Butler. That's right. Shouts out to Urban Alchemy for doing all the great work that y'all do.
Good morning. You know, as I listened to the stories that was being told, I was able to really reflect. I really was, as well as a lot of people that's standing on this stage, a promoter of senseless gun violence. One of the decisions I made cost me the death penalty. After sitting in prison, knowing that I could have been sitting on death row for 2 years, wow, that's traumatizing in itself. But we ain't gonna talk about the lives that was taken and the life that I taken in doing the life that I lived, because I chose it. Yeah, I made the conscious decision to become a gang member, but after that, I ended up in prison. And I'm not gonna tell you prison ruined my life, because it saved my life. Prison afforded me to be out here and do what I'm doing for you in this community each and every day. My boots is dirty because they're on the ground. Where you meet us at? In the backfield. Yeah, it's a lot of work to be done, but all we have to do is do what we're doing today, and that's show up. Show up. It's not hard. It has to be done, and we gonna do it. See us there Saturday and turn it in. Help us save another life. I'm gonna share something with you before I leave. They had the Day of Remembrance right here on the steps of City Hall. It was a picture of the youngster named Jace, killed watching fireworks. Fireworks. You know what the picture read? And it's staying within the folds of my mind. Don't shoot, I want to grow up. If that can't encourage me to get out here and help stop it, I don't know what will. So I encourage you to continue to get out here and help us do what we do. One band, one sound. That's all it takes to hear your boots on the ground. We all we got.
Right on, Bull. And me and that brother, man, we tied into 10 toes in one sock. So let me give you some facts that's going to happen for our gun buyback, for y'all to capture this. This is important. This Saturday, December 11th, from 8 a.m. to 12 noon at 1038 Howard Street in San Francisco is our gun buyback. $100 for handguns, rifles, shotguns, $200 for assault rifles. No questions asked. Come pull up, we're going to give you your cash, and you just can bounce. We ain't going to ask for no ID, no information. We just going to give you your money when you turn in your guns. Yeah, what you say, ma'am? Guns in the trunk. Or you can even walk up. So, I mean, you know, either way it go, it doesn't matter. We got a team that's trained, that was trained by Damian Posey out there to make sure they're professional. This is not an easy situation when you're around a lot of people who are walking up or driving up with guns, because you got people who are against what we do. And so we got to make sure we stay professional, we stay vigilant, and keep your head on the shoulders, because anything can happen. But everybody who's involved with Moms Demand Action, the Brady Campaign, right, and all the community-based organizations, and our sponsors. Don't forget about our sponsors, the weed dispensaries. Thank you to all of them who have supported this effort to make it happen, right? We can't forget about them. The private sector, SVIP, everybody on stage, the Urban Alchemy brothers and sisters, United Players, the chief of police, our captain, everybody coming together to make this happen. I got to give a shout out to our district supervisor, Asha. I see you, Ash, right there, who's also supported against senseless gun violence. But we're all doing this in solidarity. We're doing this all together. Even if we pull up and get one gun off the streets, that right there will make the difference. And so with that said, I want to bring up one of our sisters who's on the front line, who comes out all the time and comes help the gun buyback support. And you may not always hear, but she's in the back. I want to bring up Shantae. Come on, Shantae, come say some words.
Good morning. He just put me on the spot, okay? I just want to actually thank Rudy, and I'm really appreciative of this gun buyback. I lost my brother in '98, and I just wanted to say, you know, once the victim is gone, it's the families who are affected. And to this day, I'm still affected by it. So that's why I stand before you guys, and I do this work for the Street Violence Intervention Program to try to save another life. So thank you, Rudy, again, and thank you to all of you guys that, you know, are in support of the gun buyback. To those out there, one gun really can change one life. Thank you.
Hey, yo, I am bringing people up because if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And that's how we got to stay, man, 10 toes to the ground. I want to bring up the captain of our neighborhood from District 6, Captain Falvey. All right.
Good morning. I'm Tim Falvey, captain of Southern Station. I'm very proud to work with our community partners, United Players, and all of their partners to participate in this gun buyback. We're going to bring out enough staff to safely retrieve these firearms from people's vehicles, to safely take them from them if they walk up, and we're going to have them destroyed through the Property Control Division. A lot of the reasons for why we should have a gun buyback have been stated. I just want to reiterate some of them in that, you know, a lot of people have guns in their homes that maybe they inherited or maybe a relative passed on, and you're never going to use that gun in your mind. But you don't want children finding the gun while rummaging around in a closet. And you don't want anyone, say a burglar breaking into a house, they're going to go look in closets for guns. And then those guns wind up out in the street and could potentially become a crime gun. And we don't want that to happen. So this is our 10th year partnering with United Players to do this. It's my 3rd year participating as the captain of Southern Station, and I'll be out there at 8 o'clock in the morning. You've all heard the reasons why we should do this. Now I'm just asking that people come out and participate and bring their guns. Take the money, you can use it for holiday shopping, for whatever you need, but let's get the guns off the street, make the community safer, and we will continue to work with United Players on this each year until we feel, you know, until the guns are off the street. It's going to be a long process, but I just want Rudy and United Players to know that the officers at Southern Station will be there with them and the rest of the SFPD. Thank you.
All right, I think she's pulling up in a second. But I want to bring out another leader of San Francisco who's been leading the way as a trailblazer also to help making change. I'm going to bring up our district supervisor, Asha.
Okay, I guess I'm speaking. Well, let me just say real quick, you know, this issue with regard to violence in our city, with regard to guns and illegal guns on the streets, and this opportunity to have a buyback program that's driven by the community for the community. I really want to appreciate United Players and all the people that have driven this conversation. We're here to be a conduit, support, and always think about safety. So this is a really, really important opportunity to look to folks that have had experience and history with violence and then turn their lives around and drive safety for the community. So I really want to appreciate that, and thank you so much for the opportunity to say a few words.
Thank you, Asha, for coming to speak. I know we caught you off guard, but it doesn't matter, man. I don't care if you're an SFPD or you a cat from the hood and you have a gun in your house that's left locked, unlocked, and loaded with children in the house. Turn those guns in, y'all. All right? I'm going to give a shout out, man, once again to the Urban Alchemy brothers right there. Frontline soldier. What's up, Artie? I'll see you, baby. All right, hey, I want to hit, she's here, y'all. I want to bring up San Francisco's leader, our mayor, London Breed.
Thank you so much, Rudy. And I want to take this opportunity to really celebrate and recognize so many amazing organizations who have been at the forefront of addressing the challenges around violence in our city. And in fact, as we celebrate 10 years of doing this gun buyback and getting thousands of guns off the streets and out of people's hands, it's important to recognize that this work is not easy. Yes, this gun buyback is important, and the work that we do to change policies in this city and in this country are critically important to turning things around for our various communities. And I want to give a shout out to so many of the people who are on the front line. That includes Urban Alchemy. That includes Street Violence Intervention Program. And gentlemen, can you all raise your hands if you're joining us here today from Urban Alchemy and SVIP? These are the people who constantly put themselves in harm's way with United Players to ensure the safety of our communities throughout San Francisco. They are always there when there is something of a tragedy or any other situations. And what we are doing here today with some other extraordinary advocates from Brady, from Moms Demand Action, with United Players leading the cause, is we're trying to stop something from happening in the first place. Because we don't want to continue to lose people in this city and in this country, unnecessarily so, to gun violence. We can do it. And I want to recognize Supervisor Catherine Stephanie. Yesterday, we signed legislation banning the sale, distribution, and purchasing and all of that of these ghost guns that have been rampant in our community. Last year alone, 44% of the homicides in San Francisco were attached to a ghost gun. Just imagine if those ghost guns never entered our streets whatsoever. Those people would be alive today. And thank you so much, Chief Scott and the police department, for your leadership, your work, your advocacy around investigations and holding people accountable and helping us get guns off the streets of San Francisco. I know Maddie Scott is not here from the Healing Circle, but I just want to give a special shout out to her because she has been really at the forefront of advocating for change. She is one of those moms who tragically lost her son, who was an amazing person. I know because I grew up with him in my neighborhood. And there were people like George Scott and others that I grew up with that I miss, that I loved as we played in the schoolyards, as we played tag and all kinds of other fun games that we used to play before all this social media and technology. When I go to United Players and I go to their home, I see the boards with the people that we've lost, African American and Latino men in this city that are mostly in their late teens and early 20s. And I know almost every person on those boards. So what we're asking people to do, put down the weapons. Here's your opportunity. No questions asked. Turn in your guns. Let's have peace on our streets. Let's have love on our streets. Let's come together like we once did before. We were one San Francisco, one community, where we would catch buses all over San Francisco to the Bayview, to Sunnydale, to the Mission to go buy our 501 jeans. We were in every community in this city growing up. We can get back there. But part of getting back there has everything to do with putting down the guns. This is your opportunity. And you have all these incredible people and organizations that will fully embrace you and help you get on the right path if you want to turn your life around. And to all of those who have guns and lock boxes and all these other things that your children can get a hold of, turn them in. For all you parents who know something ain't right with your child who's probably struggling from mental illness, and then you have a gun in your house, or you may go buy him a gun, I appreciate parents being held accountable in that particular case, because we are better than that. Getting guns off the streets are why we're here today. So Saturday, what time, Rudy? Starting at 8 a.m.? 8 a.m., and what's the address? 1038 Howard Street. No questions asked. No questions asked. Turn in your guns and make San Francisco and this country a safer place so that your child is not the next victim. Thank you.
Thank you, London, the leader of our city. Hey, before we end this, I just want to say this. Do not wait until somebody you love and you know gets shot or hurt and is a victim of gun violence for you to get involved. Do not wait until somebody you love or somebody you know gets shot and killed before you say, I want to get involved. Because like Maddie Scott would say, it's all of us or none of us. This is what we need to do. I got to give a special shout out to James Caldwell, who's out of the mayor's office, who helps all of us come together, to assemble us to get together under one umbrella to unify us to end senseless gun violence. Thank you, though, bro. Respect. There's a lot of people out there. I see P. I see you, P. Love you, King. Right, Dre. A lot of other people out there who's helping us out. Frontline soldiers. Honey, I see you. And all you guys out there who are reporters, I know you guys feel unsafe. Some of y'all did not want to come out here because you guys feel unsafe about you getting robbed. But guess what? Let me give you some good news. It's not going to happen right here. It's not going to happen with us on watch. You're looking at some real frontline soldiers that are here to protect our community and our people, from the kids to the seniors to the women and everybody in between. You're looking at them right here, right now. All of us unified together, whether it's the brothers on the front line, like Brother Marty, Sister Leslie, Christo, Moms Demand Action, the chief of police, right, our supervisors, our mayor, all of us coming together in solidarity to end senseless gun violence, to end senseless gun violence. So thank you guys for coming and taking that chance, because we got your back like a backpack and your chest like a bulletproof vest. Teflon, baby.